free state of circular motion, thus defined by the octagon table of double-wide mental introspection and dedicated utilitarian outward thinking in defense of zero content. Translation: we ain't got nothing. Oh, hey folks, dude here. Coming to you again in an iteration of Dude After Dark. This one, of course, being a special occasion because it is now post-snowfall in Maryland, which means everybody's not completely freaking out because they really, truly have no idea of what they're doing in any form of driving ability and any form of inclement conditions, mostly and especially including snowfall. Yeah. Sound guy. Terminator hit and the Terminator skid. Okay. That's not nearly even close to what really needed to be said here in terms of driving ability in my state of residence, also known as the Bundesrepublik der Marylandophornia. Yeah, it is what it is. Okay. So essentially we find ourselves with a bunch of people equipped with all-wheel drive vehicles that really, truly don't know what they're doing. And it could be said that they really just put themselves in situations, driving outside their normal driving abilities, driving outside their normal parameters. And okay, no, that was not even close. Okay. What normally has happened in my state of, well, Marylandophornia, we usually have people that go out in all-wheel drive vehicles with all the nanny state, oh my goodness, you don't know how to drive, whiz-bang doohickeys, and they proceed to get their butts handed to them. Let's get ready to... Yeah, and they suffer
death by snoo.
No, dude. No. Most times they're hauling ass along and they get themselves in a situation where they're out of control and
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Snoo.
No, sound guy, no. No. As a matter of fact, sound guy himself had a little bit of problems the other day, and well, it didn't really work out so good for him because, well, he put himself in a situation that sound guy really finds himself in a situation of needing, well, something better than what he did. He just does these things to himself. Okay. So anyway, look at the things as it is. We find ourselves now with the snowfall now starting to depart. So it sounds better to me because now I can operate safely with people that really aren't like all over the place and crashing and burning and making my life rough. All right. That's just one of those things that really truly sucks, dealing with the guys who really truly can't drive well. On that note, I'm actually kind of gladdened by the fact that I'm not dealing with these guys most assuredly in the no sound guy. No, they're not in the no zone. Okay, mostly what the problem is that okay, they really truly don't do well. Sound guy though has had a bit of an adventure over the weekend. He proceeded to, well, he discovered that certain Mexican food is not the same as other Mexican food, and he discovered exactly the difference between the mild, the tasty, and the blow your butt off sound guy experiencing. Yeah, he experienced the blow your butt off version of a hot pepper. So, sound guy, I'm going to play the video, okay? Yeah, yeah, exactly. I tried to tell him it was a hot one, but he scarfed it down anyway. So that's on him. Martina Sasquatch and Patriot Fever. Hey guys, how you doing tonight? Squatch reporting in from sick bay, 2 hours post 5-day migraine, 2 shifts, walks home in sunglasses. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, Patriot Fever. I think he actually went even worse than that. I think he went gas station Mexican food. That's just right up there with the don't eat it in the no zone. Oh, it's most definitely the don't eat it in the no zone. Because that's just one of those things where, yeah, you're getting warning. No zone. Oh, most assuredly, it's in the no zone. Anyway, so scrolling, look at the news feed. I'm obviously going to be a couple days behind on this one, but the win that Donald Trump had over Nikki Haley in Iowa was like 56,260 votes versus 21,085 votes. Even Ron DeSantis beat Nikki Haley by like a couple thousand votes more than her, and he dropped out. He just said, this is just, it's too much of a distraction. We put in a good effort. We've really worked hard. We're not getting the traction. We're obviously not going to win this one. Back the hiccup off. The person that's going to be obviously the chosen one. The really best possible observation of recognition of constitutional liberties have been removed from us in the last almost 4 years. So I think that's where that one's coming. Now, supposedly, Haley kept going on and on about, oh, I'm going to win. We're not going to let just a small, voting block from Iowa change this all because it wasn't a really true election. It was an election and you lost. Well, it's also come down that, there's now more results. And I'll get into that a little later on because I actually have the news story further up my feed because it's, a couple days afterwards. Looking in the room, had the 7-Eleven microwave armed nuke, also known as the ass bazooka. Yeah, supposedly, Martina Sasquatch is talking in a room about dealing with a really bad migraine headache, and he said essentially that he's doing edibles, which are absolutely legal where he is. So he's doing edibles and he's getting some relief. So that's actually not a bad thing. And talking about the red. Hang on a second. There's like an icon over what you stated there. Red. Oh, the red bag burrito. Oh no, I don't go near those things. That's bad juju in the 7-Eleven, chiller to take one of those things out, throw it in the microwave and go, it's going to be absolutely scrumptious. No, it won't. It's going to be absolutely a death-defying possibility to scarf that thing down. And Patriot Fever, you channeled exactly where I was going with that one. Squatch is doing the sugar-free gummy bears. Oh my word! You were channeling me on that one, dude. I cannot do it justice. It's actually one of those things you could still find on Google, but you cannot find it on Amazon any longer. Excuse me 1 second. I got ticker juice. Now, one of my favorite candies is actually, the Haribo gummy bears. Most especially like the cola bottles and the sour cola bottles. Man, those things are just like the cat's pajamas. They're like some of my favorite stuff. Anyway, Haribo, in their infinite wisdom, they decided they were going to make a sugar-free version. Well, if you know anything about anything sugar-free, there's only a couple different ways you can utilize the non-sugar sweeteners. Obviously, there's going to be the plant-based versions, which really are not that sweet. Monk fruit is really not that sweet. Agave is really not that sweet. Then there's like the extracts that they do from certain plants, which is kind of almost sweet, but it has like kind of like a bitter aftertaste to it. So I'm really not a fan of that one because I cue immediately on that bitter aftertaste. It just does nothing for me. Stevia, and then of course then you have the other variety, which is the stuff that does not get metabolized, and you're really worried about like bumping up your insulin levels and running your blood sugar up and all the rest of that fun stuff. But essentially, what there is something called a sugar alcohol. And it's something that your body doesn't metabolize well. There's maltitol, xylitol, sorbitol, and I think there's like a couple other, isotols around. And what happens is it basically goes into your body, and your body goes, yeah, that's nice, but there's nothing I can do with this. So essentially, it just goes, yeah.
But I pooped from there.
All right. So anyway, you're dealing with this. Okay, it's not bull meow hit. It's not bull meow hit. It's people meow hit.
But I pooped from there.
All right. So it's not bull. It's human version. Okay. Sound guy.
But I pooped from there.
All right. So anyway, you eat this sugar alcohol and okay, bulls don't eat sugar alcohol, sound guy. Sound guy. Bulls don't eat sugar alcohol. Anyway, so you eat this stuff and it's going through the digestive tract and it's not being metabolized. Well, it's got only one thing to do.
But I pooped from there.
What are you opening a beer for, sound guy? Oh, okay. He's now drinking and okay. I'll give him that one. He's drinking and driving. All right, that was actually almost okay. You'll get a ding. That one was almost humorous. All right. So anyway, you eat the sugar alcohol stuff. It doesn't go in the process of normal metabolization because your body can't deal with it. So essentially, it goes from north to south, straight through the old poop chute, and
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Death! By shoot.
okay, that wasn't a good edit, but
Death! By
okay, that actually was not bad, sound guy, not bad. Don't get carried away, okay? One ding is sufficient. He gets in those modes, folks. He just gets in those modes. Hell of a way to get revenge on sound guy. Hot bathroom mic, yes. Yeah. Anyway, so essentially it's got nowhere to go, but it goes straight through you. Anyway, so going back to the story, the Amazon sale was for like a 5-pound bag of these Haribo sugar-free gummy bears. And supposedly with the citric acid and just the way gummy bears are made, they weren't half bad. So people were like, these are great. And they were scarfing them down like crazy. And they were scarfing them down, scarfing them down, scarfing them down, scarfing them down, scarfing them down. And obviously the point of the exercise is what goes in must come out. So essentially it was in there and well it's gonna seek exit options.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yeah, it just Okay. It, it basically makes its way through the elementary canal and seeks the first possible exit option. Now, the comments that was posited on the auction of this Haribo sugar-free gummy bear was beyond I mean, it was beyond hilarious. My absolute favorite entry was somebody referred to them as Satan bears. And the guy was expressing the fact that yes, they taste so innocent, they're great, you're scarfing them down, everything's amazing. And then a few hours, if not even that much later, everything just starts going and proceeded to seek major provocatively explosive exit options. My favorite one was the comment that somebody placed in there. They'd had them and they were flying. So they're in the plane, they're flying along, obviously, doing whatever, reading a magazine, maybe listening on their headphones. And then the rumbling time came. Well, they made a mad dash for the, closet. That's being charitable to call it that. The closet size pooper, and proceeded to have a physical well, let's just keep this as clean as possible. Proceeded to have a physical reaction, the likes of which, and the depth, breadth, and length therein was something that they had never ever held before in their personal existence therein with any form of elimination. And they were sincerely shocked, so much so that the stewardess was outside the door going, "Are you okay in there?" And they're proceeding to hear all manner of explosive effluence taking place as they're in there and just yeah, this is me driving the farts, so that's why I messed up. Yeah, and it could be said after spending a lengthy period in time proceeding to try to turn themselves inside out.
Fatality.
Yeah, because after that, it was just not time to.
Relax, don't you rest.
No, it was time to clean up because, well, here comes round two. Yeah. Okay, thanks, sound guy. He usually picks the good one after I pick an okay one. So anyway, the Satan bears. That's literally all you have to do is look up the Haribo sugar-free gummy bears or Satan bears, and I guarantee you, it's archived somewhere, and I cannot do it justice. It's probably on the the internet Wayback Machine or whatever, but there's like several thousand absolutely hilarious entries of people who had the misfortune to try these things or knew somebody to try these things, and well, yeah, yeah, it just didn't work out for them. Yeah, it was bad tidings. Anyway, so the Haribo Satan Bears don't go that way. Ever, 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 ever. Patriot Fever, how did the EVs handle 67 inches of snow in California, Squatch? Wow. Well, I can tell you for a fact, I saw a few EVs parked, and my area was only down in the 20s. So lots of snow, slippery conditions, cold weather, EV trying to freak out, trying to keep itself warm enough so the batteries can function because, oh, yeah, EV batteries don't like to go zero. They just don't. Yeah, Patriot Fever. I will definitely get into that in a bit. I do actually have a news story about that. I wanted to give a little bit of a break there. I got other stuff going on. But yes, I do know about that Patriot Fever, and I will take that out of the room and utilize it thusly. Let's see. Patriots saw -40 wind chills. Well, dude, you live in like cold ass Fieldistan in the middle of the United States. Oop north, damn near like playing with the Canadian style of weather. Yeah, you get freaking cold. Uh, this one I think is absolutely epic. The Milanese, the guy that's down in Argentina, has decreed deregulating the housing market. The supply of rental units in Buenos Aires has doubled and the price have fallen by 20%. To which I say, libertarianism works every time it's tried. Watch this guy. He is insanely on point. There is a, I don't know if I can actually play this or if I just need to look at this, but there was a public appearance by Kamala, and I cannot do this justice. It is cringeworthy. It's just really just
Come on, squeal.
Don't want to come.
oh no, you
Do not
came.
come.
You came.
She's gone from suck to blow.
Do not come. I don't come.
It's that last little eat where you get, this. Okay, anyway. So Kamala may have been popping down some edibles and trying to do a public appearance. And this one is posted up on Patriot Alerts on the 1st. I believe it's the 1st. It just says 01/2024. So she went to Columbia, South Carolina on a campaign stop at South Carolina's NAACP Annual King Day at the Dome, where she reminded the audience of just how, quote unquote, old they are. Her lippy grin and gesticulating hand waving are just a little too much for the internet. Quote, I see our college students up there, Harris said, laughing and flung a raise the roof gesture their way. Let me just tell you, I love Gen Z. I don't know you, some people. I love Gen Z. She continued as they shouted back, we love you. Okay, for the older adults, this is going to be a humbling thing since I'm about to share with you. If someone is 18 years old today, they were born in 2005. Oh yeah, check that out. Think about that for a minute, she said, drawing groans from the audience. The clip circulating from the Reagan National Committee prompted followers to openly speculate as whether Harris perhaps smoked a morning joint with her breakfast. No, I think somebody dosed her with like, a few edibles. And it's just like cringe worthy when you start doing stuff like that to Gen Z. Patriot Fever. I'm going to leave that one in the room, Patriot Fever. But if you folks want to follow along on that one, when this video posts up and the comments pop up, that one takes place about 22 minutes and 40 seconds into the video, okay? Just look for that comment from Patriot Fever. Martina Sasquatch sounds like scopolamine. Nah. She was tripping balls. She was tripping balls. I think somebody slipped her an edible and she just got way too many MGs for her normal USRDA. I think she got, like a healthy num. She should have just taken the gummy bear and bit off the ear, but she said, oh, no, this gummy looks delicious. Ow. And scarfed the whole thing and proceeded to become cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. This one really annoys the snot out of me. This guy really, and I really do mean this fakaka duty guy. I really want to go New York on him, but this fakaka duty guy. Anyway, this, I'm going to read it as clean as I possibly can, but I'm just going to have to clean it up and, let you guys hear it for what it is. So this silly POS just doesn't get a thing called momentum. And MLK was a Republican. ABC's Jimmy Kimmel took to the air on Tuesday to disparage the Iowa caucus as, quote, the polar opposite of MLK Day, end quote. And the way they count the votes is, and the way they count the votes, because the Kimmel putting votes in a paper bag is hilarious, but the DNC's 2020 app fiasco is something worth memory holding. Kimmel asserted that, quote, meanwhile in Iowa, many caucuses were held yesterday, end quote. And, quote, if you've ever wondered what the polar opposite of MLK Day is, it's the Iowa Republican caucus. This guy, it's like when you listen to these late night guys and they do this political stuff and the cringe, groan-worthy not even funny swipes that they throw out there. And you even hear like, like the studio audience, like, half-hearted, yes, that's humorous, ha. But there's probably like the signs lighting up in front of them going, laugh, monkeys. And it's fake. It's beyond fake. It's cringeworthy, and it's obviously a political exercise on the part of these guys to try to compel people to their side of the argument. Well, if you're not funny, you're not engaging, and you're insulting to somebody's base thinking, you're probably not going to turn them to the other side. You're probably just going to annoy the snot out of them, and they're not going to be beholden to your point of view. Jimmy Kimmel, you're one of those guys. You're really just an annoying little douchebag that came out of your state, which is probably New Jersey. And hey, you know what? Let's just find that out right now. Let's just figure out where Jimmy Kimmel is from. Jimmy Kimmel, where are you from? Jimmy Kimmel. Oh, he's from Brooklyn. Well, that's not my borough, but I thought he's from New Jersey. But you know what? He's still a douchebag. He may as well be from New Jersey because he really is just a douchebag. Scrolly. I don't know if you guys heard about this one or not, but supposedly somebody found something. Yes. Hang on a second here. Me find the appropriate music here because I got to do this right. I got to do this correct here. Oh, here we go. This is exactly perfect for the thing that I found right now. Let's see. Scrolly. Waiting for the page to pop up here. Okay. So we're now ready for the news story that's going to need this particular soundbite. Yes. On this episode of What a Crack Artist, prosecutors have found cocaine on Hunter Biden's gun. Yeah. I'm going to let this play. Federal prosecutors said cocaine residue was found on a gun Hunter Biden allegedly bought and owned while addicted to drugs, according to court documents. Special counsel David Weiss, also serves as the U.S. attorney for Delaware, has, quote, overwhelming evidence to support charges that Biden unlawfully purchased and owned a gun in 2018 while he was addicted to drugs. Federal firearms paperwork you sign says, I am not a habitual drug user or alcoholic to make the purchase of the firearm. He was, he did, he got it. Weiss's team revealed for the first time federal investigators pulled Biden's gun from the sealed evidence bag in 2023 and tested what they found to be a powdery white substance on the gun case. The attorney said the FBI chemist determined it was cocaine. To be clear, investigators literally found drugs on the pouch where the defendant kept his gun, the prosecutors wrote. The Washington Examiner reported. Federal investigators obtained access for a search warrant to Hunter Biden's Apple iCloud account in 2019 later to his laptop, according to prosecutors. That data contained photos of crack cocaine and drug paraphernalia, messages about smoking drugs, and an admission he was smoking crack 2 days after the alleged illegal gun purchase, the Examiner reported. 4 separate court filings are in response to Hunter Biden's attorneys seeking dismissal of federal gun charges on the basis of selective and vindictive prosecution. Weiss's team called the argument meritless. In one filing, the special counsel's lawyers highlighted instances in which President Joe Biden's son admitted to excessive and illicit drug use in 2018 in his memoir. Hunter Biden has pleaded not guilty to charges accusing him of lying about his drug use in October 2018 on a form to buy a gun, which he kept for about 11 days. He's acknowledged struggling with an addiction to crack cocaine during the period in 2018, but his lawyers said he did not break the law. You can't write this stuff, folks. Well, actually, you can. Hunter Biden has since said he stopped using drugs in his work to turn his life around. Didn't he get caught doing drugs, and that was the reason why he lost the sweetheart deal? Just checking. Anyway, so the criminal proceedings could have been avoided with a plea deal last year, but the agreement for the federal prosecutors fell apart, and now the president's son is facing a spectacle trial this year with his father's campaigning. He was indicted after the plea deal broke down with a judge who was supposed to sign off on the agreement. Instead, raised a series of questions about the deal. it was a sweetheart deal that nobody would ever get. Yeah. He initially agreed to plead guilty to misdemeanor tax charges, would have avoided prosecution on the gun charges if he stayed out of trouble for 2 years. He couldn't do it. It was a culmination of a years-long investigation of federal prosecutors and Hunter Biden's business dealings. He did it. Hunter Biden, you are a doofus. Yeah, he's one of those kind of morons who just can't keep his nose clean for 2 years. And basically pisses off the judge so much that the judge goes, you know what? Not gonna do it. Wow. Patriot Fever. No, dude. That was white powder that identified as black powder. Black powder matters. Black powder matters. Oh, man. Yeah, he cut Patriot Fever. Yeah, Kimmel is a toilet bowl remnant from Chris Christie. Yeah. Christie cream. Excuse me 1 second here. Yeah, the deuce bag doesn't fall far from the New Jersey Tuchus. Wow. What a piece of work. I did come up with a listing, and most of the words are really, truly not the most politically correct. But let's just say, I'm just going to read through them and I'm going to keep them nice and clean. You know, it's the 7 dirty words, obviously, by classically, by George Carlin. It's the 7 dirty words, okay? So S hit, PS, F chuck, C unt, C sort cork sucker, mother F chucker. The other part, the other comprising, if you're not looking for the tats, you're looking for the, so the TATS, you're looking for the TITS. And then obviously other words that really Facebook doesn't like is they don't like when you use their name. So you put Facebook in a post, they tend to knock it down with their algorithms. Also, pandemic, coronavirus infection, anxious disease, buy, markdown, coupon, discount, sale, order, deals, giveaways, giveaway, deal, win, enter, contest, free, limited time, today, only 2 days left, ending soon, door closed while supplies last, and finally the stuff that really pisses them off: gun, firearms, magazine, clip, barrel, full auto, silencer, suppressor, rage, rebellion, boogaloo, and did I forget? Fact check, fact checker, fact checker, fact checker, fact check, fact checker, fact Facebook, fact checker. So anyway, basically, if you put those in a post, supposedly they knock down their algorithm, but some of my friends have commented on it. And I've had a bunch of people like that. I've had, some comments on there. So that did not disappear. All right. So if you want to really have fun, that list of words to really just put onto a post and make Facebook go, hey, yeah, so much so that they actually put up one of these, hey, when you noticed it, you put one of these things up there, but they did notice. So there was literally the pop-up thing. This post may go against community standards. Your post is now on Facebook, but looks similar to other posts. Hang on a second. Here, let me blow it up so I can look at it because it's kind of small. Your post is now on Facebook, but looks similar to other posts removed because they don't follow our standards on hate speech. That wasn't addressed in anybody but Facebook. And they were like, hey, so that's one of these things you got to like click off on and say ignore, or remove post kind of a thing where they basically are making you try to edit your things because their algorithms say, hey, we saw this. Yeah. I don't know if you guys are really fans of Soylent Green, but I found a meme and it's really notable in this regard. And they said essentially when cannibalism starts, vegans are the closest thing there is to free-range, antibiotic-free, grass-fed meat. So remember your Soylent choices and eat hearty. Oh, man. This one I think is absolutely disgusting, but supposedly I'm not even going to really give them much validation here, but the C units, and you can take the I out of that one, the C units on The View think that freedom is only for the Democrats. Now, The View essentially was bashing on Iowans for going out in the snow and crappy weather to exercise their right, their unadulterated right to vote. But these C units really had an issue with that one, and they are just incorrigible, disgusting, nasty C units. Rooster vacuum. Oh man. Data cannibalism from vegans are safe. Essentially, they're vegetables. Well, there's always the other one too. It's like, you're eating a piece of meat, and the vegan's like, "Hey, that's an animal." It's like, actually, no, it's concentrated vegetables if you think about it, because they eat the green stuff and become this delicious item. Technically, my food poops on your food, so have that. Scroll. I don't know if you guys heard about this one or not. This is kind of one of those snarky, disgusting little things that people tend to do that really is just out and out, flat out, just disgusting. So essentially, somebody swatted the White House. They dialed the 911 phone number, and yeah, they actually called in a fire code on the White House, claiming the residence was on fire. This one coming on truthpress.com. Fire trucks and ambulances reportedly rushed into the White House Monday morning around 7 o'clock, didn't say AM or PM, after a prank caller claimed the residence was on fire and somebody was trapped inside. Now, the way the fire department works is they're going to respond because they assume it is the emergency. The incident represents the latest swatting against the political officials. Dangerous swatting events appear to first been instigated by Democrat prank callers against political opponents. The prank call at the White House forced fire trucks and ambulances to rush in snow-covered roadways. Yipes, to the White House. The Daily Mail reported. After arriving at the District of Columbia Fire and Emergency Medical Services and the U.S. Secret Service determined the incident was a false alarm. Fire at the White House, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C. Dispatcher said at 7:04 a.m. Authorities gave the all clear at 7:15 a.m. So, Joe Kaka was located at Camp David on Monday morning, far away from the resident. Okay, it's not that far, okay? If you guys don't know where Camp David is, essentially you go north to Frederick, you take a left at Frederick, and you go out towards Thurmont. Thurmont is only like about 20 miles, not even 20 miles away from Frederick. Frederick's like, what, 25 miles away from D.C.? So as a crow flies, it's like not even 50 miles away. It's not that far. If you hop in Marine One, it's about a 15-minute flight. Okay? It's really not that far. So authorities gave the all clear at 7:15. President Joe Kaka was located at Camp David on Monday morning, far away from the residents. Why? Because he's always on vacation. Authorities traced the prank call to an apparently spoofed phone number, a source told CNN. Okay, that's where you need to trace the thing back to. A spoof phone number means probably somebody used a burner phone where they basically said, "Ha ha ha, got him," snap, took that, pitched it into the water, bye-bye, never to be used again. Spoofing a phone number is not rocket science, okay? All you really truly need to do is use a correct network that will allow you to use a one-time use SIM card, pitch it, done. You see it in the movies all the time. It is a, air quotes, burner phone. You only use it once. Quote, someone who reached out to callback number for 911 report indicated they didn't place it. Source told the Associated Press, indicating it was likely spoofed. Recent politicians have been swatted include Senator Rick Scott, Republican, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, Representative Georgia, along with celebrities Ashton Kutcher, Justin Bieber, and Kim Kardashian. Now, the thing about it is Marjorie Taylor Greene has been swatted so many times, they literally assume it's going to be a fake call, but they have to go anyway. So literally, Marjorie Taylor Greene knows the guys are going to be responding at this point. So literally, it's like, do you have a fire and emergency? No, everything's fine, guys. Sorry, somebody got you again. It's like, okay, cool. Thanks for letting us know. You're all good? Yeah, we're fine. Thanks for coming. Bye. And that's it. They basically sign off on the report. Bing, bang, boom. They got to head back to the house. But the fact that these guys are doing this swatting thing shows they have no argument of which to express upon anybody else. It shows a different viewpoint as saying, yeah, we really, truly are worth it. No, you're not worth it, because if you got to do that kind of stuff, trying to use agent provocateur tactics, you got nothing to counter your opposition. That is weak sauce. Let's see. Scrolly. Oh, this one's nice to know. So, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, it's nice to know his ass is fixed, but he's still an ass. Coming in from truthpress.com, he was released from the Washington area hospital Monday, 2 weeks after experiencing complications with surgery to treat prostate cancer and keeping it from his subordinates in the Pentagon and his boss in the White House. In a statement, Austin doctors said the 70-year-old continued to work from home for, quote, unquote, a period of time and undergo physical therapy, but is expected to make a full recovery. Physical therapy for prostate surgery. I don't know if I want to know what kind of things you're talking about getting there, but if you're talking about physical therapy from that's going to sound a whole heck of a lot like
Come on, squeal.
But I pooped from there.
yeah, because the only time that you're going to be doing anything on that end, that's pretty much all you're getting is
Death! By snoo-snoo!
no, you're not getting snoo, okay? You're getting the other way, sound guy.
Death! By...
You're despicable.
Yeah. Anyway, so it comes time for physical therapy. Okay. Apparently, he's not enjoying his physical therapy. That's really not fun physical therapy. That there's the West Virginia therapy. Anyway, so supposedly this guy's getting physical therapy. He's expected to make a full recovery. The biggest problem I have with this guy is the fact that essentially he's a general. He's a retired or active general. I forget what his status is now, but he knows where things fall in terms of you mustering, you showing for duty, you being present and accounted for, and absolutely of the complement of all the required personnel in an operative situation. You are there. Technically, he was AWOL. Technically, he did not express, hey, I'm really jacked up. I'm going to get work done, this, that, and the other thing. I got somebody else to follow through. If I'm unavailable, this guy is my second in command. That's what should have happened. However, he said, oh, yeah, well, just don't let him know I'm not available for the next, X amount of time. I'm going to be uncommunicado because I'm going to be unconscious. Wow. Beyond disgusting. Pedro Viva was sure Joe Caca didn't make the call himself. Probably ate some Satan gummies and panicked. Oh, jeez. Okay. I'll have to look that one up, Patriot Fever. I don't know about that one, but it's worth a try. It is worth looking at. So I will give you that. Just give me one sec. Allergies. Gotta love them. Anyway, so Scrolly, this guy, this, I really want to curse here, but this freaking guy, do find it interesting that, essentially the unbelievably corrupt allegations now going on against Fannie Willis could blow the case that she has against him in New York or down south. Georgia, I think it is. But anyway, her case against Trump might be grenaded because she is just a disreputable pile of monkey puke. So her and her dalliance, $650K in the hole, basically taking vacations, all kinds of other stuff. And yes, yeah, that's bad juju. And I think that really she may have just created a situation they're in for a mistrial because of her own situation, because she is such a corrupt pile of monkey puke. You are just disgusting. Speaking of a corrupt pile of monkey puke, uh, no other way to say it except for what to say it, but dude is in trouble yet again. Yep, yet again. He's in trouble yet again. So on the set of Rust, there was supposed to be a scene where Alec Baldwin was supposed to fire a weapon at a shield. Now, I don't know if it was supposed to be directly firing at the shield and there was supposed to be no rounds present, or if it was a situation where you shoot a ballistic shield and you show bullet impact to look cool in front of the camera. You can do it both ways. Unfortunately for Brandon Lee on the set of The Crow, a dummy round shed its bullet, which then got stuck in the gun, and then a blank cartridge fired the bullet. Now, considering the fact it was in a 44 Magnum revolver, that's a pretty strong gun. That's why it held together and it just didn't grenade in the guy's hands. But unfortunately, the bullet did what the bullet's supposed to do, went into Brandon Lee and proceeded to kill him. Unfortunately for the chick that, well, Alec Baldwin zapped, she also proceeded to expire. So hang on a second here. Let me get this all squared away. Okay. So coming to truthpress.com, grand jury in New Mexico indicted Hollywood actor Alec Baldwin on Friday for an involuntary manslaughter charge related to the unintentional shooting of a woman on the movie set of Rust. The grand jury issued the indictment nearly 1 year after the initial charges brought against him were dropped, according to the New York Times. He is initially charged with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter related to the death of 42-year-old cinematographer Helena Hutchins. I think that's Helena Hutchins. It's kind of like a weird spelling. On October 2021. The indictment charged the actor with 2 separate counts of involuntary manslaughter, though he can only be convicted of 1, the Times reported. The felony charge alleges he was in total disregard or indifference for the safety of others, and the other accuses him of negligent use of a firearm. So he could face up to 18 months in prison if convicted of the new charge, according to the New York Times. Let's give it a second here. Throat's a little dry. Alec Baldwin's attorneys, Luke Nickus and Alan Spiro, said they, quote, look forward to their day in court, according to the Times. On set, Baldwin held a prop gun that was not discharged and unintentionally struck Hutchins in the chest, who was later airlifted to the University of New Mexico Hospital, where she succumbed to her injuries. The bullet gave director Joel Souza a non-life-threatening wound to the shoulder. So essentially, it went through her and into him, because we're probably one behind the other. Baldwin's denied responsibility for Hutchins' death, telling ABC News George Stephanopoulos he did not, quote-unquote, pull the trigger, and that he would, quote-unquote, never point a gun at anyone during a December 2021 interview. He also asserted the gun did not contain live rounds, and there was no live ammunition supposed to be on the set. Well, supposedly, the movie's armor, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, is also facing an involuntary manslaughter charge. She pleaded not guilty and scheduled to appear before the judge in February. Producers of the film Rust have received complaints about the risks to the safety of their crew and cast, according to accidental discharges and labor unrest. 6 crew members reportedly walked off the set to protest the working conditions just hours before the fatal shooting. That says to me unsafe gun handling. That says to me live rounds mixed with blank rounds. That says to me dummy rounds being mixed with live rounds. Because you put a dummy round next to a live round, they look dead nuts real. The only way you can really tell is obviously by shooting them, and you got a fake primer versus a real primer. You really can't tell by shaking them. You might hear powder in the live one versus the non-live one. But if they did it right, there might actually be fake powder in the fake one. You put cornmeal in there, it basically sounds almost like gunpowder, I'm sure. So the big question is who's going to get hung out for what? And hopefully, you know, it's not just the armorer basically gets burned and Alec Baldwin gets because he's famous. I think anybody who's culpable, anybody who's, around for that, anybody that caused that woman's death is responsible. So in that regard, hopefully everybody gets a little bit of the bite of the pie on that one. Scrolly. This one I find completely bloody damn interesting. So Nikki Haley is now supposedly the Democrat darling. They got to prop her up to, take down Trump. We can't let Trump win again. Orange man bad, little hands bad, all the rest of that stupid stuff you hear. But supposedly from the Daily Mail, there's now a news story posted up on January 19. Nikki Haley. Well, besides being the South Carolinian darling, or now the Democrat darling, supposedly she cheated on her husband and she had affairs with her communication consultant and a married South Carolina lobbyist before she became the governor. Oops. 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 I guess that means apparently you're not so pure as the driven snow, and apparently there's some other stuff out there that, well, you might be just guilty of. Okay, so you're not that person that can say that you're above the fray because, well, you just attained status. Okay, all right, I'll use that sound guy. She attained monkey feces status. Yeah. So sworn affidavits and new witnesses are claiming. I hate when politicians try to say that they're so above the fray. Yipes. Yipes. You guys heard about, obviously Sports Illustrated laying off just about everybody because they got nobody reading their stuff? Well, there's another shoe to drop. This one coming in from Breitbart.com. Massive layoffs spur Friday walkout at far left LA Times. Okay, that makes perfect sense. Just give me 1 second here. Oh, it's dry. That makes perfect sense. You're working at a place that is financially not so viable anymore. Some of your compatriots get, hit canned because there's not enough money to go around. And if you ask anybody in business, the very first thing they cut is always manpower. They always cut manpower first. Did the executives get hit canned? No. They get their golden parachutes to go sailing off of an horizon. But the personnel that are the rank and file, they are the first guys to fall into the chopping block, and they get bumped. So what happened next was they laid off some people, and the guys that are there are like, hey, we'll show you what we really think, and the rest of them did a walkout. Well, I hate to burst your bubble. If you guys do these things, potentially you might have a situation where they go, you know what? AI is pretty good. So what we do is we just take this AI and we have it read every single thing that you've ever written. And oh yeah, we'll tweak the template just a little bit. So your style is now mixed up with his style, and mixed up with his style, her style, their style, and all the rest of your styles. So now we have an amalgam of how many people that are now walking out. This thing will now use your group writing style, swoosh it all together, and do that job that you're now refusing to do. And oh yeah, all we have to do is say, okay, this is where it started, this is where it ended, this is what happened, and these were the people involved. And the computer goes, okay, how many pages do you want? Oh, we need X amount of words. And it goes, okay. 2 minutes later, it goes, here's your written thing. Is that approvable? And you go, no, tweak it a little bit. And it goes, oh, okay. 10 seconds later, it goes, is that approvable? And it goes, oh, is that all you need me to do? No. We need you to write the rest of these articles as well. And the thing proceeds to write the entire newspaper, and all the people that were formerly working there are not needed any longer because that crap that you were turning out, you thought was so verified and completely above the mark of anybody else's writing ability, is now being done by a computer program because you're too stupid to realize you are not that needed. So anyway, but now they're going to do massive layoffs, and they do this walkout, and it's really going to be funny. So, Breitbart News reporter Thursday, all kinds of terrible things are happening, and terrible people hate us in the LA Times. Paper's executive editors abruptly resigned after only 3 years on the job after laying off 13% of the staff last year. Another round of massive layoffs are announced. Best of all, the left-wing rag is reported losing $50 million a year. Or as I like to look at it, about $1 million a week. That doesn't put a smile on your face. Your heart must be made of kryptonite. Anyway, so these guys are doing it to themselves. I just talked about it last week. The Washington Post is suffering hugely. And Even Bezos with his billions can't prop this thing up and make it profitable any longer. Uh, LA Times is now falling on its face. Um, Potentially all these other interesting things are happening. The Baltimore Sun just got bought. The Baltimore Sun got bought. So if you think about it, if the value of these things floor out and some rich conservative decides to start scarfing up all these newspapers and make them centrist, if not, right leaning, but make them centrist, you know, dog bites man, man suffers, blah, blah, blah. Not, oh no, that was a black dog. You can't talk about that because that's racist. I think if people really got like straight news versus this couched and tweaked and tuned for our side of and our template, I think if people actually got news without like a slant, they'd probably glom onto it. Uh sound Patriot fever. Yeah. Yeah. He says that Sports Illustrated lost me when the Leah Thomas dude could have been in the swimsuit edition. Yes. Yeah. When you put somebody that is not okay, if you just anything else in terms of like your personal preferences, if you take somebody that should not be in a swimsuit and you say, this is our swimsuit model of the year, and you look at the picture and go, no, you're not going to buy that magazine. I'm sorry. I don't care who you say, you're trying to prop up or how great it is that they're, XYZ, PDQ, OU 812, all those things coming into play, don't even have any reckoning therein on you buying their magazine. Because when it comes right down to it, and you're dealing with the
XYZPDQOU812.
okay, sound guy, we're only talking about the
XYZPDQOU812.
okay, so XYZ PDQ OU 812. Anyway, so whatever side of the aisle you find yourself, sound guy, stop that.
You've got mail.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
XYZPDQOU812.
Are you done? Jeez. He gets in a groove, folks, and just
XYZPDQOU812.
stop. No. I got the pause button on that one. We do not need a copyright hit for you playing the X-Files. We do not need that, okay? Stop. Jeez. Anyway, so yeah, any way you find yourselves, and there's another news story about Kimmel, but I'm done talking about him. Piece of crap. I didn't know this one, but it makes a whole hell of a lot of sense. And this one is easy to source just simply by looking at it for what it is. This one coming in from Breitbart.com. Supposedly, Google is now flooding their news service with nonsense AI generated articles. Why? Ugh. So Google's reportedly boosting nonsense AI generated articles that are ripping off other outlets on its Google News service. If Google's not purposely clogging the internet with AI's garbage content, it's a sign the company's black box algorithms can be gamed by scheming profiteers. If anybody needs to get stuck with trust violations, it's Google, man. They are too big. They are the only guys who really, truly own the search parameter on the internet, and they don't allow any competition to take hold in any way possible. Patriot Fever, the Who scream is perfect for Satan gummies. I don't know about that one. Satan bears. She might have had some too. Anyway.
Come with me if you want.
What are you doing, sound guy?
Uh-oh.
Stop, okay?
Use the force, Luke.
Don't even go into the Satan bears, okay? Anyway.
I'm trying to think, but nothing happens.
Stop. See, Patriot Fever, he reads the chat room too, okay? He reads the chat room. He does. And if it's not me hitting the stop button every 5 seconds, he's rotting it. Anyway, so Google's flooding their stuff. The AI-generated rip-off articles made their way into Google News results, while the tech giant says they're not concerned about whether an article is produced by human or AI, according to a report by 404 Media. Interesting. Google told the outlet while it tries to counter spam with Google News, it doesn't focus on how the article was created. So if they're clogging it up with all their crap, that really says something. They're basically trying to silence everybody by putting out such crap that nobody can really feel it for what it is. Ugh. Scroll. I don't know if you guys heard about this one or not, but I know it's only Vassar, but Vassar is that which feeds us, keeps us alive, and all the rest of the good stuff like that's theirs. But yeah, I do want to pay homage where it's needed. So let me just take a second here. Navy Times put out an article, and this literally just happened just the other day. So this is one of those ones that sucks about being an operator, is you're riding that razor's edge of survival versus you're not coming home. This one posted up January 21, and there was a mission. So the U.S. Central Command on Sunday said it was halting search and rescue efforts for 2 Navy SEALs who went missing during an Iranian weapons seizure mission this month. And the 2 are now considered deceased. No matter how good you swim, no matter how buff and strong, if you got enough gear on you and you can't float, you're going under. So the SEALs were on a mission aboard an Alicia Jow, I think it is, DHOW, so basically a boat, carrying Iranian advanced conventional weapons on January 11 when it went missing off of Somalia, when they went missing off Somalia. Out of respect to the families of deceased SEALs, the command said it would not provide additional information and did not disclose the names of the 2 frogmen. So, unfortunately, those guys were lost performing a mission. The boat actually was sunk later on. They decided not to deal with it, so they decided just to sink the boat and get rid of it. Seized items include propulsion guidance and warheads for Houthi medium-range ballistic missiles, anti-ship cruise missiles, as well as air defense-associated components. So they stopped it. So once he'll get knocked up by high waves, and the teammate went in after him. So basically, he was doing the good buddy stuff. One guy got knocked off. The other guy went to save him. Both of them, unfortunately, succumbed. So basically got done. They sunk the boat, took the stuff off, and stopped them from getting more munitions for the Houthi rebels, which to use. That's one that really, truly sucks. And unfortunately, let's hoist one to them. So fair winds and fall and seas at your backs, gents. I salute you. Tabs and companions. Scroll. This one I find completely disgusting, and we can talk about it now. Sound guy, you probably need to go back to the old file of sound effects so we can find it and talk about it thusly. But we're going to be talking about, of course, about the Yep, because the Thanks, sound guy. Okay, I think we got it because now we don't have to worry about.
Check.
We don't have to worry about.
Fact check.
Thanks. There is no more.
Fact check.
Would you stop? Okay. Okay, we don't have to worry about.
The Chinese
because I didn't get it, okay? But we don't have to worry about...
Start. Check.
Stop. Okay. This one coming out, and I'm sure this is probably a Fauci thing, but from truthpress.com, the CDC drafted alert about myocarditis and the clot shot, but never sent it. So those chuckers knew it had problems. And oh yeah, Facebook, Google, Twitter, YouTube gave them cover. Ugh. Speaking of people receiving the there was a guy by the name of Novak Djokovic. So he tried to cancel. That guy was trying to be canceled by a journalist for being unvaccinated. Well, that guy was attending the Australian Open, and it is Mike Dixon, who was a writer for the Daily Mail. Dixon, who was in Melbourne to cover the Australian Open, tragically collapsed and died shortly before his 60th birthday. Well, he was also somebody who was like really hugely like, you need to get the clot shot. If you don't get the clot shot, you're gonna give everybody. If you don't get the, you're gonna be giving us the. You gotta get the. Yeah. So, dude, let me give you a simple.
Check.
Your ass didn't survive getting the Yeah. So anyway, that guy basically tried to, get somebody else silenced, outed, call it what you will. Yeah, you did it. It didn't work, and goodbye. Let's see. Scrolly. I don't know if you guys heard about this one or not. This is a news story they probably won't talk about in mainstream. This one coming to news.yahoo.com. And supposedly Putin's going on and on and on about how much he wants to beat up Ukraine. Ukraine's going to lose. Well, there's a slight problem. This one coming in from the Telegraph. Freezing Russians are forced to cook meals in the street. So this news story coming in Yahoo News. Thousands of Russians are living without heating through the freezing winter of breaking the country's fragile Soviet-era infrastructure. Yeah, because it was run by communists. It's not going to work well to begin with. So hot water pipes are bursting, electricity is failing, and radiators are freezing throughout Russia, triggering complaints from angry locals who are accusing officials of incompetence 2 months before a presidential election. That is not good press. Videos posted this week from Nizhny Novgorod, 265 miles east of Moscow. Residents were evacuating apartments flooded with steaming, boiling water. The apartment is completely destroyed. The apartment is uninhabitable, said one man as he filmed water pouring through the ceiling. After dozens of residential buildings are left without central heating in Kilnovsk, a town in Moscow region, a mobile kitchen with wood burning furnace was set up by residents left cold and unable to cook. In Novosibirsk, Siberia, a major pipe burst on Wednesday, projecting a spout of boiling water high into the air, which burnt 13 people and left an entire apartment blocks without heating for one of Russia's coldest winters in decades. A resident of Novosibirsk said she was upset but not surprised. Quote, of course people are upset. They've been in the cold with children since January 11th, she said, declining to give her name. I wasn't surprised at all. It wouldn't have happened. It would have happened at some point because the pipes had burst when laid back in 1973 and 1963. Jeez. Municipal officials admitted that the pipe burst in Novosibirsk had been laid in 1963 and last repaired in 1990, a year before the Soviet Union collapsed. In Kilmki, a suburb of Moscow, freezing residents have taken to huddling around a fire in the street to keep warm in temperatures of negative 25 C. Haven't had any heating since January 2. The authorities are aware of the problem. A woman said in the video, several people holding up SOS signs. Please help us. We are desperate. Campaigners have said chronic underfunding has undermined civilian infrastructure in Russia. And where are they sending the money? Oh, that's right. They're sending it from Putin's best efforts to take over in Ukraine. Yeah. Best Patriots hit. Patriot Fever. I'm not taking that out of the room, but that is epic, hilarious. Well, why not? You know what? Patriot Fever. Okay, I'm going to have to be very cagey here about the conversation that we're supposed to be not having while live on air here. But I'm going to have it very, very simply so I can say it to Patriot Fever and I don't offend anybody else in the interwebs. Patriot Fever. Potentially, you should have her milk the cow. Okay, of that we both know of which I'm speaking. All right. So hopefully that makes sense to you, Patriot Fever. Have her milk the cow. Right? I think that's going to solve the problem. She milks the cow. What do you no, sound guy? No, there's no ding there. There's no ding because if he does it any other way, it's going to be yeah, it's going to be wee. So he's got to get her to milk the cow. Sound guy is saying you probably better get her too, or else what is this dog like lovingly like chomp, 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 chomp. Okay, he could actually. Okay, if you're going to use dog noises, sound guy, he could reciprocate. He could reciprocate. Actually, he could do that and milk the cow. Oh God, I better stop. I'm gonna get in trouble. All right. Anyway, DeSantis does suspend. Obviously, you've heard by now. DeSantis has suspended his campaign and endorsed Donald Trump. So that's kind of cool. This one, I don't know if you guys heard about this one or not, but this area of Alaska, I don't know how desolate it is or how far out in the middle of nowhere is, but supposedly coming on truthpress.com, there's an Alaskan regional government that's urging its residents to be armed and ready. So the Matanuska Sutsitna Matanuska Sitna Boro Assembly voted Tuesday to encourage its people to have guns and ammo, linking the need to rely on the Second Amendment to the increase in crime and the dearth of state troopers, according to Alaskan Public Radio. So essentially what it is, they're saying you better arm up because we don't have enough cops. However, if the bad guy does come and you basically zap him, wasn't a very good bad guy. So anyway, that's one of those 10 things that happen in some places where there ain't enough cops. They're saying you got to be your own first responders. This one I think is absolutely epic. Coming at truthpress.com, Wall Street Journal editor-in-chief admits to the Davos elites, we no longer own the news. That's right, because there's other news sourcing out there. You can't stop the signal. You guys aren't the only source of news anymore like it was in the 1980s and 1990s and kind of in the 2000s and the early parts where you guys thought you owned everything. That's right. There's many other news organizations out there. They don't need to come to you, Wall Street Journal. Scrolly. Think I'm done with the news feed. Okay, that's cool. All right, so let me jump over here real quick. I got something I gotta bounce off of you guys. Hang on a second here. Let me do this kind of strangely, but let me do this like this. Yeah. Okay, this will kind of work. Now, this one isn't exactly the one that I'm thinking about, but it's kind of close. There is a knife that was out in like 80s, early 90s, and it was made under a design by a Japanese knife maker called Tak Fukuta. So Tak Fukuta came up with some really kind of cool stuff. And this one, essentially, what it is obviously it's ABS plastic. So it's not the best polymer. It's what they had at the time. It's a very low melting point, very easy to mold. Not the best polymer, okay? I mean, truly just does not really age great. It's not the strongest. It's kind of brittle. Really is, they actually use it a lot for like, early car stuff. You can really see like dashboards and whatnot. Really didn't age very good. It's because they used ABS. Anyway, so the technology is such that what they did with this guy is it is basically a metal insert. Obviously, it has holes through it. and they cast the polymer around the blade. So it's not dull. I mean, it actually is a sharp blade. It's got a fairly good point on it. Probably, I would say it's a 440 stainless steel made in the realm of thinking along the lines like the Gerber, where you basically got rope cutting teeth down to the base, do actually have a dagger style point, roughly not quite an inch wide. And basically, what it is if you look at it, it does have these two small areas here, obviously, for your thumb to, then have a foil grip upon, and also for it to be locked into the sheath. I don't have one of the sheaths handy with me, and mostly for the reason of that is I bought this one, but it came with another one. So I now have two of these guys, neither of them with sheaths, and they'll be up on my, old knife display board up in the me room. So probably I need to do a, knife blog entry about these guys, but there's some surprises up in the me room because there's some cousins of these guys, and there actually is a couple different versions of these. They were sold under the name Fury, sold under the name Explorer, and there's another version of this that was sold under Fury called the Rattler, where if you look at it, it's like these big serrated teeth. I mean, it looks like maybe 5 or 6 teeth down the length of the thing. It's like these big honking serrations. It's really kind of a strange design, but it actually is fairly light and lively. I mean, it really doesn't have the best center of gravity because it doesn't have the best balance point because it really is light. That's the biggest thing going for it, is it really is just a light knife. But the thing about it is the balance point is kind of weird because it's really not handle heavy. It's really not blade heavy. It's just kind of, the balance point is just kind of just weird. It's like the balance point's like just maybe like about an inch in front of that, thumb piece. It's like kind of like that. That's roughly about the balance point's like not quite there. It's really kind of a strange balance point. It doesn't feel lively. It kind of feels just clunky. Like, like the weight is like off. It almost is like, it almost feels handle heavy. But then when you start messing with it, it's really so light in the blade area that it really just doesn't balance well when you start moving it around much. It really is. It's a collectible piece. It's not anything I'm going to say, oh, I want to feel with this, man, because this is the stuff. But yes, it is honestly metal, and then obviously polymer. So that is obviously what's going on there. Metal, polymer. So you guys can see in cross section, it is literally polymer that's then been cast around a metal insert, which obviously has holes in it to secure the blade. Obviously, the blade then goes into the handle some ways. I have not x-rayed one of these things. That would actually be very, very cool. So you can see what this thing looks like in cross section. And with the idea of doing destruction testing upon it, they're so rare that I'm not going to hack these things up. Okay, I got a couple upstairs in the me room, and they're not getting destroyed. Now there is some actually other configurations of these guys. There was a longer version with a finger hole, and it was like more of a Bowie style blade. I actually have one of those as well. So obviously, if I do a knife blog entry, that's what's going to happen on this one. But I just literally got these guys, and some of my absolutely best, like, obscure knife sourcing guys, they don't have them. So I'm not too terribly unhappy to find rarefied items, and it's kind of one of those cool things when you find, the unusual. So on that note, I think I've now come to the point of looking at the room and seeing who's there still and going, oh yeah, there is still people around. So I really, truly appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. Good stuff like that there. And we're reaching our point of conclusion. So let me hit that thing that makes the noise. And oh yeah. Hey, closing music. All right, appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. You're going to have many other things to do, but you guys hung out with me on Tuesday. I truly, truly, truly appreciate your kind attention. You guys hanging out with me, get a gold star for attendance. I will catch you guys next week unless I put out something sooner. And have a good week, good stuff like that there. And I will see you then. So eat good, keep thundering as always, you know you love it. And I will see you then. Catch you guys later. Have a good week, and I will be out of here. So see ya, and Ernest.